How's it going, boys? Johnny Superbman here, bringing you the final update to the Superbmen's fantasy postseason. It's all said and done. The NHL playoffs are over, and your winner is the great Domsky 2BC. That's right, the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first two rounds. The high-scoring Pittsburgh Penguins. It was more than enough to get Domsky all the way, give Domsky enough points to get all the way to the finals, and also take the finals. I thought I might catch him. I only had 24 points to catch up on him in the final round, but I only made up 14. And, that final Game 6, I thought I was still in good shape. When the Bruins were up 2-1, I thought to myself, okay, this is looking good. Hopefully Chicago might pull the goalie, and maybe I can get another point or two on the empty netter. Maybe Bergeron from Marchand, okay? And that'll take me to within 8 or 7 points, because then Crawford wouldn't have got that win in Game 6. So I would have had 7 points to catch up to him in Game 7. And, 7 points could have been made up in 3 goals, right? So it was right there for the taking, but then Chicago, just in 17 seconds, destroyed all the Boston Bruins' dreams and destroyed my dreams of winning this fantasy postseason. So Domsky, number 1, we'll dive into his team again. 10 points, remember, 10 points. Seemed like, we'll go to the, the final points here. Oh, I can't sort by points? Corey Crawford got him 17 points, so the goalie, Corey Crawford, was a great choice by Domsky. Chris Letang, 16. See, it was the Pittsburgh Penguins that won Domsky the fantasy postseason. 16 points for Letang, 15 for Crosby. Don't worry about Keith. Iginla, 12 points. Dupuis, 11 points. Kunitz, 10 points, all right? And all these players got kicked out in basically the second round because they didn't get a damn point in the third round, right? So his Pittsburgh Penguins, those first 2 rounds, he won it with those amazing high-scoring first 2 rounds, the Pittsburgh Penguins. But also the fact that he had some extra players like Duncan Keith, who did great. Logan Couture and his Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton had 10 points in only 2 rounds. Same thing with Couture had 11 points in 2 rounds. So Domsky really dominated the first 2 rounds, and it ended up holding on to it throughout the 4 rounds. I cannot even talk right now. My team, again, I went with the Boston Bruins, and it was a great idea. I'm not saying it was not a good idea. I think I would have won with this strategy. It was just that I didn't choose Nathan Horton and Milan Lucic. That was the big thing, right? You can see Krejci 26 points, Chara 15 points, Bergeron 15, Marchand 13. Yager didn't get a goal, but he still got me 10 points. It was a good enough player. Datsuk I shouldn't have gone with. I shouldn't have gone with Detroit. Tyler Seguin I shouldn't have gone with. Jimmy Howard, Jimmy Howard was a good goalie. I wanted Rask, but Rhodes already took Rask. Jonas Hiller again, I had no other goalies to go with. And Dougie Hamilton, Cronwall, and Seidenberg, big mistakes. I should have had Torrey Krug, Johnny Boychuk for sure I should have had. And then maybe he's just another defender on another team, but these guys got me nothing. But if you go to leading scorers of the NHL based on our criteria, right? 1 goal equals a point, 1 assist equals a point. Nothing for game-winning goals or anything. Come on, what's taking so long? Just switch friggin' websites or web pages. All right, so Krejci, that was a great pick. He was the best guy, right? But number 2, Milan Lucic, second point getter in the whole playoffs, Milan Lucic, and no one chose him. And because, I chose the Boston Bruins, that was my big mistake. Not picking up the second Milan Lucic and the 4th Nathan Horton. So I would have won it if I just didn't take Datsuk and Seguin and taken Milan Lucic and Horton instead. There's freaking 38 points right there. But you know what? That's fantasy hockey right there. You never know, right? You never know. Look at Brian Bickle. He's up there as well. No one took him. So, you know what? Looking forward in the future, you got to go with the top 4 teams. Look at this. Boston, Chicago, Boston, Chicago, Boston, Chicago, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Boston, Pittsburgh, Chicago, LA, right? So, in the future, if you're thinking about doing a fantasy postseason and if you have it semi set up the same way that we do, don't worry about the best teams or the best players that are available. Think about which teams are going to the Final Four and try to load up on players from them, because eventually as the playoffs, pan out, you're going to see players like Brian Bickle be at the top of the list simply because of games played. Like you go down here again, not Patrick Sharp, but Jeff Carter, he's 18th. Right? He's not you wouldn't think that he'd be better than guys like Alexander Ovechkin and Rick Nash, right? But because his team went to the 3rd round, he gets the point. Same thing with Slava Voinov, right? I should have taken Slava Voinov over Seidenberg, Cronwall, and Dougie Hamilton, right? So that's how you can work it in the future, yeah. and then down here, San Jose, Detroit. But basically, the top 4 teams is what you want to go with. All right, so Domsky, congratulations. I'll get you next year. And yeah, that's it, I guess. Worst ending ever once again. Jesus.